Aaron Whitlow.
I'm Brandon Spivey, and welcome to the Markout Movie Podcast. In today's episode, we were reviewing Amazon's Reacher, Season 1.
Yes, we are. I had some technical difficulties uh, before the show. It's okay. I'm here now. So before that, we'll briefly discuss uh, what we watched prior to that. Um, so let's see, Brandon. I want to mention before getting to yours, just a couple of things I watched. I thought I don't know if I told you. So I think Ever After, it was like the 1998 Drew Barrymore, Angelica Houston, Romeo, not Romeo, but like Cinderella type of movie.
Hmm.
It I wasn't really that into it. I thought it was Drew was great and Angelica was great, but other than that, I kind of felt it was bland. Um,
Was it
but I
called
watched that. I
Ever
gave,
After?
huh?
No, Ever After?
Yeah, Ever After, yeah.
Yeah, I liked that as a kid. I hadn't seen it since I was in middle school. But
I gave it two and a half stars on Letterbox. And then I don't know if I mentioned that I seen this, but She Said I watched that on Peacock. I think it's
yeah.
about the Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Mm.
Um, it was actually really good. I gave it three and a half stars. Well acted. Just kept me just engaged the whole time. And then the last thing I watched, which may segue into what you watched, Plane.
Yeah. Fine.
And we shall talk about Plane. Uh, anything did you watch before that? Oh, yeah, of course. I know you watched something.
No. I wouldn't. I would. No. No.
You're not gonna waste your air on the other
No,
movie you
I'll
watched.
talk about House Party, but anything else, no. I've been just trying to watch stuff to get rid of,
Yeah,
so it's not worth mentioning.
yeah. So, but Plane, yeah, it was a for me. It was a throwback to '90s type of action films, and I thought Gerard Butler was great. I thought Michael Coulson, I think that's his name. I don't know if I said Coulter, maybe. I don't know if I said. But I thought he was really good in it too. I thought they worked well with one another.
I was disappointed with Michael. Actually, he's fine in the movie. It's just he really doesn't have a whole lot going on other than being handcuffed like halfway through. But once the action really picked up, I was expecting him just to go ballistic, and he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't. I don't know.
Mm,
I agree with you on the '90s aspect. First act, maybe first and a half act, but once the story comes full fold of what they're up against, I felt that was like early 2000s, like maybe it reminded me a little bit of Tears of the Sun, Bruce Willis.
mhm.
Uh, but it was an entertaining action film. I thought Gerard was great in the role. I'm glad he's not always playing, the guy that's full of action. Like in this film, he's a pilot, but when his name's called, he does show up and
Yeah,
kill some bad guys. But I like that he's playing a character that's not used to this, and so I thought his performance was pretty good. Also, I think his name's Tony Goldwyn, the guy from Ghost,
yeah.
Friday
He's a good
13th Part
guy.
6. He has one of the first kills in that. I liked him. I wish he was in it more, but
He's
I
also
really like
in
him.
he's also in Scandals, by the way. That's where he's
Oh,
most
is he?
known for now. Is he was like the main love interest. He's the president. He plays the president in Scandal, that show Scandal. So, um, but yeah, when I saw him, I marked out for him. I thought he was really good in it. He always plays like villainous type of characters and some stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
yes,
good
of
at
course he was killed in Friday 13th.
it. Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, no, I liked him in it. I thought he was really good in it. But yeah,
yeah.
um,
I don't know. I guess they're being in this like third, underworld kind of place. Um,
Third world? You mean third world?
Yeah, I mean,
Underworld.
it's just we've seen it before, but it was entertaining. I don't know. I think I was expecting a little bit more, like more. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought it was going to be something like Con Air, that kind of action, and because that's the '90s action I was hoping for. But it was a standard. It was a standard action
Yeah.
flick, Gerard Butler. But it was entertaining. 3.5 for me. So
Yeah,
it was
I think I
entertaining.
gave it around the same marks.
Yeah.
All right. So without delay, we
Skip
are
over
of
House Party.
course, huh?
You're making me skip over House Party.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's worth skipping. I will eventually watch it whenever it's streaming for free. Emphasis for free, like or in something I'm already have, like HBO Max. I assume that's where it's gonna go. It's where everything goes to die. No, just playing. But no, Reacher. First foremost, let me tell you this. The people I spoke to about this, like telling them about the show, they immediately think the Tom Cruise one. That's
Yeah.
the immediate thought that people think about, and I can understand that. That's what I thought. But after watching this season of Reacher, I would never think of anyone else other than this guy as Reacher. I think that he nails the role, in my
Oh, he
opinion.
does. He does 100%. He fits the body of Reacher. He fits the personality of Reacher. The action of Reacher. Although I do have a little complaints about the action at the end of the movie. I mean, the show. When it comes to him facing off the main antagonist, it was lackluster in my opinion. His henchmen did a better job than he did. Almost killed Reacher in the pool. So, but yeah, this Allen is man, he knocked it out of the park. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting much from the show. And I'm a big fan of the books. I just wasn't expecting much. I was like, oh, it's going to Amazon. I don't know. And this Allen guy, Alan Richardson, I hadn't watched him yet when it was coming out, but then I started watching Titans, and then I was like, oh, that's the guy that's playing Reacher. He's good. I like him. So I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, and also I really like. I thought Michael Goodwin was really good as Finley, Oscar
Oh yeah,
Finley, and I thought that he was one of my favorite characters actually. Just his drive. I love that. I love his messing with his wedding band. I love just like his little quirks about him. You know how essentially he's a stickler for the rules essentially.
yeah,
And then also Willa Fitzgerald is Roscoe Conklin. Uh, so I will tell you this: after watching the series, I did go ahead and use one of my credits on Audible, and I purchased the Killing Floor, and started listening to it, the audiobook. I can tell you, I I can tell you where I'm at right now in it. I know you finished the whole thing, but I'm at the point where uh, Roscoe has just picked Reacher up from jail, and they're driving back to the station,
yeah,
and he still hasn't found out that it was his brother.
yeah,
Um, but um, but I thought that I think that the voice, see, now is hard because the voice I hear in the book, the audio book, isn't the same voice that I'm wanting to hear from the character. Because I think that he does a phenomenal job. And I watched a YouTube video where a guy was comparing the book to the movie, to the show, and says that Alan Richson
mm-hmm.
does a better, and I want to get your opinion on this. He says that he did a better job with like inserting personality into Reacher, like fleshing him out more as a character. Whereas in the book, he seems a little bit more standoffish and a little bit more like braggadocious, I guess. What
Yeah.
were your thoughts on that?
I could see that. He does add a lot of personality to the show. It almost came off to me anyway. It almost comes off like he's a little bit autistic, a little, But I don't know. I think that's just the first book, though. We don't really get to know Reacher as well. In the second book, he shows more personality, and you really get to know who he is. So I think the first book was just really starting to get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more about, losing his brother, how that affected him and how he wanted to save Roscoe and Finley and, save his town essentially. He's always been put in these situations because he's a drifter. He goes from town to town. He's always put in these situations. But it was one of the most fun reads I've ever had, though. I was like blown away by how much I did like it. Like, because I didn't read it till after I saw the Tom Cruise films, and I was like, whoa, Tom's good in the movie, but he's not exactly Reacher.
Yeah, I felt
I mean,
like
I'm not talking about
Tom.
the height either. I'm just talking about the character. He's not exactly.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I do feel like the show does pay a small homage to or homage to the Tom Cruise Reacher stuff at the very beginning, where Reacher comes into town and sees a guy kind of being aggressive with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
and just kind of gives him a look and doesn't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just gives him a look, and the guy finally backs down and like, yeah, it won't happen again. You know, although in the cruise films, he would go and which I like that aspect of him that he's willing to stand up for those that are being bullied or picked on or made fun of. But
Yeah.
but this guy, man, Alan, man, he is such a great uh like every time he's on screen, you want more of him on screen. And
Oh,
then I felt the same way with Finley too. I like when they were together, I felt like it's like a buddy cop type of
mm-hmm.
feel to me.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you suggested this, by the way. But yeah, because it was always on my radar to watch, but I always I was hung up on the whole Tom Cruise version of it, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, why would I really want to, make myself watch this? But as you messaged me, I agree. I'm waiting for another season because it was that good. I do have a question for you though.
Okay.
Um, now I don't know if it's a spoilers. If you say it's spoilers, then you ain't gotta say it to me. But does the other series seasons will we come back to Margrave at all like with the same characters because I kind
No,
of like these characters or does he kind of move around and meet new
he
characters?
moves around. Every book is in a different location. The only thing that's similar is it's just really just him with new people. I think there's occasion on a couple books he will run into somebody from the past, but I don't. I don't think Roscoe's in anything else. I think Finley may show up once or twice more, but it won't be in season 2 though.
Okay, yeah, I was curious about that. Another character in the show that I really liked, and I don't know her story, but I loved his friend
Oh yeah,
Neegling. Um,
she's supposed to return.
I love it like this. I don't know her story, like I said, but I love the aspect that she doesn't like to be touched, and there's probably something deep rooted in that with her backstory. But I just she was like she was on point. Like Reacher told her what he needed. She's on it, no problems because they work well together. But they're not a and you know in movies and shows they will want to play up like a romantic angle with them. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that they didn't do anything like that. Like they literally are they're friends that got each other's backs, but also is boss um, worker type of relationship, but they bust each other's balls because they know each other that well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What did you think of let's see. Well, there is a guy in this show. He's been in a lot of movies. Plays the bad guy a lot. Bruce McGill, I think. He's the mayor that turns into the next chief of police. What did you think about him?
Oh, that guy,
Yeah.
man. First of all, this guy right here, man. I totally. It's good seeing him on screen. Let me just first say that.
Yeah.
Uh, Anybody that you get to see that you grew up watching in different things, and you see them now and they're older but they're still here, man. That makes me so happy. But I thought that I did think I always immediately thought that he was the going to be the villain. And I thought the son was going to be like Junior, KJ or whatever they call him.
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to be the villain too, in the sense of um, just the way that he kind of spoke and responded to Reacher. But I agree with you. Real quick, I do feel like that they should have their fight, Reacher's fight and KJ's fight, should have been a lot stronger. I
Yeah, I
agree
agree.
with you. It should have been stronger. Yeah, because I wanted to see him get. I wanted to see KJ get his butt handed to him, like completely.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that satisfied they did. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much of an interaction with when they fought. Reacher got the upper hand and kind of kicked him into the fire, and there's all she wrote. He burned to death. It wasn't much of anything, and I was disappointed in that because I was thinking in the book it was much more than that, and it's been a few years, but I was thinking there was much more. And I know there was a lot more when he took out all those guys at the house and dressed up in camouflage. Oh, there was a lot more in the book than what they showed, but I thought that was a really good scene as well. But yeah, back to Bruce McGill, who plays the new chief of police after the old chief gets slaughtered off screen. I thought he did a great job. Obviously,
Mhm.
I think they let you know who the villains are pretty early on, except for one, and they kind of wanted it to be a twist, but it's not really a twist. Like you can see it
No,
coming.
and I'll tell you why. Real quick, I'll tell you why it wasn't a twist. That guy, I've yet to see that guy, the FBI agent, the dude. I've yet to see him play a good guy in anything. Everything I've ever seen that guy in, he's always a villain. So when I seen him on the screen, at one point I thought, oh, I guess he is playing a pretty good guy in here. But I've always seen him play like a low down character in everything I've seen him in. So
Yeah,
when he turned out to be low down, I was like, kind of figure that.
yeah,
I'm trying to see something with Bruce McGill. I want to say he was in that movie Rosewood. He played like one of uh, the white guys that kind of, and I hate to say that, but kind of helped perpetuate the slaughtering of the black people in that movie.
yeah,
And he's very very racist, but he's really good at playing a villain. Like
yeah.
that's he's in his bag, and that I don't think I've really seen him play a good guy. Honestly, the more I think about it, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen him play a good guy in anything?
I mean, he wasn't necessarily a bad guy,
He
but
was
he
in
was.
National Lampoon's. He was actually in National Lampoon's Animal House. He
Was
played
he?
yeah, he's early in his career, man. He played like he's one of the people in the same fraternity with like John Belushi, not Jim, John Belushi, and them. But he's like kind of a rough and rugged type of dude, the alcoholic. But he was cool, so I
Yeah.
guess he was a good guy in that.
The movie I always think of him is Last Boy Scout because he's sleeping with Bruce Willis's wife and he's in the closet hiding, and Bruce is just gonna shoot at the closet by 3, and he wasn't necessarily a bad guy in that. I don't think. Maybe he was,
I forgot he was in that movie. I haven't seen that movie in so long though.
but he dies in that movie pretty early on. I don't think he was necessarily a bad guy. He just wasn't a very good friend to Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
But I mean, you've seen him come in so many movies, you forget everything he's done. But I mean, he's always been a great character actor and a great villain.
the guy that played Jasper, the mortician, not mortician, but the coroner guy.
Yeah,
So he is in what we do in the shadows. He's in that show, which is a great show. It's Taika Waititi show, which I know Taika is not getting a lot of love, but that show is actually pretty good. He plays like one of the familiars to one of the vampires, and so he's really good. So when he popped up in the show, I was like, hey, like that guy. I was happy to see him getting a part in there. Yeah, the guy that I'm talking about, the bad detective, the bad FBI agent, Martin Roach. He played Picard.
Yeah,
In the show. Yeah, that guy. I've never seen him play good dude. Nothing, man. He was in which I don't remember it. I don't remember Diary of the Dead, but he's in there.
I don't think I've seen. I don't think I've.
The man from Toronto is in there. I think he's a bad guy in there.
I don't remember him in that, but I was just focused on Woody and Kevin, so.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you about. So, have you ever watched Smallville?
No.
All right. So, the woman that plays the wife of Hubble is Lana Lang on Smallville. So, she was like Superman's love interest in Smallville. So, it was really cool seeing her again. She also played Chung-Li in Street Fighter, The Legend Begins or whatever. She was in that show Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I know her from Smallville, and I thought she was. It was really good seeing her, seeing Kristen Crook. It was really good seeing her. Still doing things, or coming back into doing things, I guess. But
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Smallville, so it is what it is, man. I'm a Superman guy. I'm a Superman guy, so.
But doesn't he doesn't put on the cape till the end, right?
He doesn't put on the cape. No tights, no flight. That's the rule. But but it's still Superman. It's his origin story. It's okay.
It's CW, right?
Yeah, but also you're essentially people in supernatural is in that show too. So
I know Jensen was.
Yeah, Jensen Echoes. I don't think the other one is. He was in Gilmore Girls, right?
Gilmore Girls, yeah. Jensen was also in Dawson's Creek. It's all about CW, man.
It's all connected. But yeah, what were your thoughts on? So, look, I was gonna ask you this. So his being in town is because of blind Bart or blind something. I forget his name.
The
musician.
Blind Blake. Musician, right?
Yeah.
That's why he was going.
And his brother sent him a message about Blind Blake, and so he went to check it out. Do you feel like his brother was in some way trying to get him there to kind of help him?
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So was it that his brother used that to get him there to help him?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Yeah, and just got there a little too late. But I did. I don't know if you watched it like I did, but Scream, the TV series. Willa Fitzgerald, of course, was Emma. Did
No.
you?
Yeah, I think I did see season 1 and some of season 2.
Okay. Did you buy her in this role? Because at first it took me a while to like. No, I just can't see her.
Well, she's like prissy and was she prissy in Scream? Was
Yeah.
she very prissy?
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back and revisit that show, man. I'm actually I might just do that. I might just do that right when we're getting ready to prep for the Scream movies and stuff. I might in between watch that show, but yeah. Well, I bought her in the role because I don't like. Although it's a book thing, I know it's a book thing now that her name's Roscoe. I just never liked the idea of her name being Roscoe, and it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. But her Willa, I thought she was really good in it, and I felt like they was gonna have a relationship, but you can't hold down Reacher, man. He gotta go. He gotta move. He doesn't. He wanders. He's a wanderer. But if there's anyone that'll make him stay close to the fire, it's her.
Yeah.
So that's powerful little statement.
Yeah, I mean it is. I just when this show first started, when I first saw it, I was like, I saw her in it. I was like, oh, she's in this. Emma from Scream. I was just like, well, I can't buy her as a cop, but it's nice that she's in. But as it went on, I was like, oh, yeah, she's actually pretty good in this. I was very impressed with her. I was more surprised that she got naked for the show.
Yeah, that was kind of that was a shock, my man. I didn't know the show was gonna have nudity. To be honest with you, I didn't think.
Reacher does get lucky quite a bit in these books. He's always got time for romance in between time killing people.
Speaking of killing people, hey, we got a comment. Let's see. Hey, Belfer, I'm sorry I didn't see your comment. Let's go Bengals.
Who dey?
Maybe they will go to hell. I'm just playing. I hope they will.
Why you gotta say something like that?
I'm playing. I don't have a dog in the fight.
Would not approve.
She would not. She's a huge Bengals fan. But all right. I love my favorite beat up scene would probably be the prison scene, like the bathroom scene. But I love the introduction to him standing in front of the guys in the cell though. And I was going to tell you this. This is one thing that I wish they did in here. They didn't do in the show that they did in the book. They should have introduced. I wanted them to introduce the old.
And Aaron left me. He's coming back though. Here he comes.
Oh, okay, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you didn't hear none of that, did?
I didn't hear nothing.
I said I wish that they would introduce the old prisoner that was in the that they mentioned in the book where he says, "Oh, I ain't never seen nobody wearing y'all type of clothes in the lockup." And he's like, "We're not supposed to be here. We're supposed to be in overnight stayers." I mean, like, oh, y'all on the wrong floor. Y'all on floor 3. Y'all should be up on 6. And then he's leaving. I wanted them to introduce that guy. I'd love to have seen him. But yeah, I mean, I understand the show. You got to be tight. They introduced the pie thing, the peach pie, which he said better. Yeah, it was some good stuff.
Well, I have to mention it because it's my last name, right? What'd you think of the character named Spivey?
Oh, well, never trust a Spivey I guess is what you. That's funny. Yeah, man. Old Spivey, he gets bent out of shape, doesn't
he? Yeah. I tell you what, though, there is no Spivey that I know that's in law enforcement. They on the other side, but they're not with law enforcement.
That's probably why. That's probably the reason. Yeah, I thought Spivey was good. I thought he was going to end up being. I knew he wasn't going to be the villain, but I wonder if he's going to play a bigger part. Let me ask you this quick question, just in case we blank out again before we wrap this up. Um, Reacher says that there was 3 people that killed his brother, killed the 2 guys, the 2 bodies they found, but his brother for sure. So KJ was the one that sniped him, killed him, shot him, and then the KJ's little buddy was the one that went all wild on him, right? And berserk.
Yeah, Dawson.
Dawson, what's that? All right, Dawson goes berserk on him. Who's the third guy? Would it have been Hubble?
No, I would think that would be I can't think of his name. The guy who became chief of police. I would suspect he would have been there.
So he's the one that tidied him up.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in on it big time. I will say this though. What was their last name? Kleiner? Was that the last name they had?
Which one?
KJ. Was his last name Kleiner?
Yeah, Kleiner or something like that.
I was a little surprised that he killed his father.
Yeah.
I was even surprised in the book when it happened. I was like, whoa. Because I was expecting him to be the guy behind it all, and he kind of was to a point. He just got turned on, but that caught me off by surprise. Did it catch you off by surprise?
It did. It did. That guy, by the way, the father, Cary Graham, was in the remake of Assault on Precinct 13. He's done NYPD Blue, Pompeii, which I've never seen that, and some Law and Order stuff. But yeah, man, I thought it was surprising. I didn't think that he was. I was surprised when Finley found his body. I was surprised when the guy died. Yeah, I was like, oh man, okay, so it's deeper than that. And I was expecting some big drug lord or something from like a different country or something, but couldn't find out the mastermind behind everything was KJ. I felt like KJ is short-sighted though. I don't know his end game because you need someone to handle your money, to make it legit, and I don't think he really has anybody for that. So I don't know why Hubble would have been like a target. I think he got sloppy is what it is. Seems like he got sloppy.
Yeah. It came more off sloppy. Reacher comes to town, after killing another Reacher. He kind of got scared a little bit and kind of got real sloppy and just trying to take everybody out,
I did like the scene. I did like the scene where Reacher, I knew what he was doing when he met the one old cop for coffee. Yeah. And I was like, hey, yeah, I think Finley did it. I'm going to go to the Hubble's residence and I'm going to look around and I'm going to find the evidence that is going to implicate who's in it. And I'm going to da-da-da-da. And then he gets in his war paint, turns the TV on and just takes out everyone. But almost gets taken out himself. Yeah.
He came to fight. I mean, he put up a more fight than KJ, and that's troublesome.
So that was Dawson. That was Dawson right there. Mm-hmm. Dawson didn't die in the creek though. He died in
a pool.
But yeah, no, I thought that was really good. And then I don't know, I just felt like he's really smart the way he puts things together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show, man. It was a good show. I had fun with it. I felt like the ending could have been a little stronger as far as the fight, like you said. But that's my biggest complaint.
Yeah, it's truly my only complaint of the show because I felt the characters were well written, well acted in the roles. Thought the story was really good, which I didn't know exactly how it's going to turn out as a TV show, and because the book is awesome. It really is. It's really good, but I didn't know how all these characters were going to play out, and I was very entertained by watching everybody have a little piece of the pie here, and I thought they all had fun. It seemed like it was a very enjoyable experience for everybody. And
You
I
know
really
what?
did. I just want to say something about Finley. Once we find out what's really going on with him, with his wife dying and all that, uh, you feel for him, and that's why he went to Margrave in the middle of nowhere, a racist town, so to speak. He just stopped living in a sense. And I don't know. I don't.
And they mentioned that he Reacher mentioned that he's kind of like wears the tweed jacket, which in a very hot
Yeah,
climate, he is more penance. Like he's doing like to like punish himself essentially for
because he couldn't save.
they yeah. And I thought it did really good with character development. Though I'll say the one character that wasn't developed as well would probably be Roscoe. If I had to nitpick, I don't think she was as developed. But I mean, she's still developed, but I don't think she was as developed as Reacher. I thought the flashback stuff would get like throw me off, but I didn't mind them as much. I
Well,
loved when Reacher's brother was like, "Don't cry" in there, but then like when he got in the car, he says it's okay to cry, and he shows his emotion. He's crying. He's sad that his mom's dying.
yeah.
I really felt that, and especially I've experienced the death of my mother, so yeah, I know that feeling. But yeah, I thought it was all in all actually a really good show. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say this real quick. So Kristen, who played, let's see, Charlie Hubble, the wife of Hubble. I thought there's one point in the show I thought that she might be a villain. I thought that I got those vibes, like especially in the cabin stuff. I was like, maybe she's in on it or something. Maybe she's the mastermind, and it's not really her husband. Um, and I just felt that way. So I would say that's really good. I don't know if they meant to do it, but they led me a different direction and thinking that it might have been her.
Well, I
So
think. Well, it is a mystery in a sense. It's you're trying to figure out who's all responsible, who's all
mhm,
behind all this. And some of it, I think, for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory who's responsible. But they do like to give you a couple twists in the books, like in the sequel, I didn't have a clue. The guy that ended up being a bad guy, I didn't have a clue that he was a bad guy. I thought it was well written. But in this one, I thought was, I read between the lines. I saw who was the villain. Even Picard, I thought he would be the villain in the book. I mean, he just came out. I've seen too many movies like this
yeah,
where the FBI agent is bad. He's crooked, and
he's dirty. Yeah,
yeah. So that wasn't a shock, but it was still very entertaining. So I
yeah,
mean, I had a great time with it.
yeah.
I'm glad you liked it though, because
And
because
I do want to mention real quick that I love the cameo by Lee Child.
yeah, I didn't know if you was gonna know that was him or
Yeah,
not.
I didn't. I looked it up because I was like, that's significant. Because the way he lingered, I was like, that's significant. Who is that? And so
Yeah,
I looked it up, and that it was Lee Child. And I was like, that's good. And that shows that he believes in what they've done with his baby
yeah.
essentially. And so yeah, I wonder if he still has some type of creative control
Oh yeah.
that makes them like don't butcher my child. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, originally Tom had control of it, but he got it back. So Tom Cruise bought it several years ago. You know, it was I don't know. It was weird that he bought it, knowing the character was 6'5", like 300 pounds. I mean, it's just weird that he bought that and like, man, I can do this
and
at
and
5'5" or 6", whatever he is.
Yeah, and it doesn't work like more. I did want to go back and watch Reacher, the Tom Cruise stuff again.
I think the
But
first one's a solid movie, but he doesn't come close to what Alan is able to do.
yeah, but we'll go ahead and give our marks for it. I loved it, by the way. Let's go ahead and give it. I'm going to tell you mine. I give it 5 Markouts out of 5. I felt like it was a compelling show. It got me interested. Got me I literally binged it. I binged it.
I know. You
Yeah,
told me you like when you started on a Sunday
yeah,
and it was finished maybe that night. I'm not sure,
yeah,
but
yeah. I just kept watching it, man. I
I was
kept
like,
watching it.
wow, he must really like it.
Yeah,
He's watching it fast. It's not Star Trek
yeah.
Next Generation for him.
No, it's not Star Trek. I'm still lumbering through that. But yeah, 5 stars, 5 markouts for me. Brando, you?
Um, I'm going to give it a 5 as well. I'm not going to let the ending hurt it too much. It's when I think about it overall. I mean, it was just it's so fast paced. You care about the characters. You're entertained. Um, I really had a great time, so I'm gonna give it a 5 as well.
All right. Next week we will be. We're gonna do another type of old
It's your
school.
turn. It's your turn.
Yeah, I know.
You keep
Uh,
changing, so I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not gonna change it. Instead of watching a show, because I don't want to binge another show just like that. Um, I need to watch some of these other shows, get them out the way. Um, but we will watch In the Heat of the Night. We'll do in the Heat of the Night.
Well, I finally can see how it started.
Yep. So it's from 1967. Sidney Poitier as Detective Virgil Tibbs, Rod Steiger as Chief Bill Gillespie. It'd be kind of cool because
Carol Connor.
Carol Connor is in the show, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to see someone else playing Gillespie other than him. I won't have no problems with Tibbs. I thought the actor did a good job in the show, but he wasn't my favorite by any means. Is there
He's
a
not
Bubba
fitting,
Skinner in the movie?
huh?
Is there a Bubba Skinner in the movie? Probably
Bubba
not.
who?
Bubba Skinner. He's like one of the, he's not. He's like one of the policemen.
I don't think so, man.
Okay, he was just added for the show. I didn't know if he was just added or not.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, man. But yeah, I think it's on Freevee, so
It's also on Amazon.
it's on Amazon. I'll
Yeah.
watch it on Amazon. So yeah, but yeah, we'll watch in the heat of the night, which it'd be an old school episode for folks. Hopefully, people enjoy. And then after that, we're diving into Scream, baby. It's a Scream, baby.
That'll be a week after.
Oh, what are we doing after that? It's your pick.
Sick. Kevin
Sick.
Williamson. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, I've seen it and I've been like putting it off. I'm like, I know we're gonna watch it. So yeah, okay, all right. Well, in the meantime, in between time, what do you want them to do, Brando?
We would like for you to share, like, comment, subscribe to the Markout Movie Podcast channel.
Yep. Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Thank you for marking out with us here on the Markout Movie Podcast. Have a good weekend.